Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Exhausted Sparrows Unite, where we're talking to you, you beautiful, burnt-out little boss birdies. Because today, we want to talk about how you hold it all together in the middle of crisis. How maybe chaos is your best friend, or like Chantel, chaos is something you can live without. I'm Krista Jones, your host, along with my co-hosts, Chauntel Schaefer and Tom Morrell, and we're talking about how crisis mode really should not be a personality trait. It's personal, especially for me. If you've ever felt that you're the only one that's useful when you're putting out fires, you are not alone. If you're one of those people that need that chaos in order to thrive, we're going to talk about how, though you may think that's really awesome, it might not be that awesome at all. So pull up a chair, ladies and gentlemen, as we dive right in to the biology of chaos and why it's not as good as some of us feel it should be.
I'm sorry I snorted before.
Because you were relating to all of it.
Well, I was laughing at the
burnt out boss birdies.
Yeah. Yes, I couldn't hold it in.
That's the t-shirt.
That's the
Every
t-shirt.
week, ladies and gentlemen, there is a new t-shirt, and you're going to be able to buy these, and the proceeds
eventually
from these t-shirts are going to go to Sparrow's Nest, which is a charity here in the Hudson Valley, and we feed families and individuals that have a cancer diagnosis. And in the middle of all of this, we realized that we're trying to keep it all together.
I was just going to say that's what the charity is all about, is managing other people's chaos. Like when you're
really
going through when you're going through treatment and stuff like that, it's complete chaos. I can only imagine.
It is. We say organized chaos around here, right? And there's pivoting like all the time around here. So when we were talking about what did we talk about this week? I was like, oh yeah, chaos.
Yeah.
Like I've got that covered. Let's do it.
So did you guys also drive in today to the podcast with 50 baseballs rolling around in your trunk, or is that just me?
That's a you thing.
That was a me thing? Okay.
I don't even think we're getting Chantel to a baseball game.
No. I want to see the Savannah Bananas. Like, I will go see the Savannah
Is
Bananas.
that just
play.
because of their name?
No, they're like the
Globetrotter
Harlem
of-
Wizards or the
okay.
Harlem Globetrotters of
Yeah.
the baseball.
It's a different
world.
take on baseball.
I got
It's
you.
a very unique experience.
It's a very fun take on baseball.
That I'll experience.
It's not watching paint dry. I'm sorry, Tom. Sometimes it feels like that.
No, it's okay. What, baseball does?
Baseball sometimes
That's a
feels
whole
like
different
that.
thing. Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. But we're gonna
I
get
just mean with the thing in the cars,
Right.
because like I have a lot going on. I coach baseball, so I always have a bucket of baseballs in my trunk, and when there's not as much other stuff in the trunk, the baseballs, like when I make a turn, the bucket flips over.
That's
and
shocking. Wait, that's shocking because you always drive like you have a cake in the car. So how does that happen?
It only takes a little bit of like a G-force to
Right.
tip the bucket over,
So
and then
you-
you've got a whole. So I was in the Stewart's parking lot this morning getting gas, and I had to fill the bucket with baseballs. Just in front of everybody and their mother,
Like
right
you
there at
weren't
Stewart's,
thinking you could move that to like the middle seat
I
and
moved
put it on
I moved it to the back where it's wedged in now. It's not going to fall over. So
right.
I've avoided that chaos now.
Well, thank goodness.
After you shared it with everybody in the Stewart's parking lot.
The guy was like, "What? Why do you have so many baseballs?" I have kids.
And why
It's
are
okay.
they not contained?
Why aren't they in a bucket? Oh, you have a bucket. Why aren't they in the bucket?
You caused chaos
whole
today for
story.
so many people
It's a
pulling
whole
into
story.
the stewards, and we're sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Chaos.
It's okay though. We're working through it though.
Yeah, and you know
Working through it,
when
though.
we were talking off air about how we all picture chaos and how we deal with chaos, Chantel, and that's part of why I thought this was going to be so fun, because I was like, there's no way Chantel is going to love chaos, but yet Tom and I thrive on chaos, which is not healthy at all. But I'm like, Chantel needs to be in the room because she's really gonna show the normal side of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, and every situation that we mentioned that we'll probably talk about during the episode here, Chantel was getting more and more uncomfortable in her chair.
I'm just twitching.
She's like gripping the sides, like, what? Can we just change the subject, please?
I'm very type A.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
organization and
Yeah.
planning.
Yes.
Well, see, I like organization and planning too, but like,
But you're not good at it.
Well, okay.
Hence baseballs rolling around in your car.
Fair enough. But like baseball, as an analogy, sometimes, the other team rallies and then you got to come up with a different plan. And then you have to pivot from that. And, that can be, I don't know. Does that work?
Is such a far stretch.
Does that work?
Not at all.
That's not chaos.
Not at all. All right. I want to all right. Let's start by talking about your brain. Let's really talk about like what it does. And let's talk about the science behind it as to why you and I thrive in it and Chauntel doesn't. It's not just because we're weird, which we are weird. But there's really a science behind that, right? You and I both self-diagnosed ADHDers.
Yep.
I mean, Chauntel works in the field, has worked in the field. I think she agrees with that diagnosis.
I concur.
So for us, we are lacking in a lot of instances, the dopamine we need, the right amount of cortisol we need, all of that stuff. And right when you get yourself into a chaotic state, a state where you have to do a million things at once, it is producing dopamine, cortisol, all the things that make Tom and I happy.
Yeah, you get a little high off of it.
Get a little high off of it, but yet Chauntel has enough. So Chauntel is then on overload.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But
so, yeah.
We're going back to the planning, there's planning involved. It's just a little looser. It's not like a metal sheet. It's more like a fishnet.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I had those, like what we were talking about off air before, where there's like a plan of organized chaos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on.
Right.
And things have to change on the fly or things have to adjust on the fly. So I'm really comfortable doing that.
Absolutely, because ADHD, things like that, like you are really craving that cortisol, that adrenaline rush. Like for us, we thrive in that kind of an atmosphere. Normal people don't. I'm just going to tell you. Normal people really don't. Because honestly, your cortisol is your main stress hormone.
Yeah.
So, right, it will spike and most people realize that means they're in danger.
Yes.
Like that's really what it is. It's a flight or fight. They know that. Tom and I go straight towards the bear that is, walking down the rail trail. Like we don't get that signal that this is not a good thing. Tom and I are like, this is fantastic.
By the way, PSA, don't go near bears if you see them on the rail
you
trail.
shouldn't.
Just to cover us here.
You should.
We don't endorse that.
Oh,
That was an
no,
analogy.
don't sue us for that. We're not telling you that is a smart thing at all.
No,
but Chauntel gets the danger signal. Tom and I go straight for the danger, right? Yeah. So it's that fight and flight, and the adrenaline, right, for us is a happy feeling. But for most people, they're able to work through that. And it's not a feeling that they want. So they're going to do anything and everything to get that feeling to dissipate. Where you and I are like, add 6 more things. I can juggle this.
It's almost like it's an adventure, right? Like, hey, this is a new adventure. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Like when the last minute stuff. I get accused a lot of times of making plans last minute. Very not spontaneously. There's a difference between planning stuff last minute and being spontaneous. That's that kind of like when something comes up, like if you said, hey, tonight I have this thing going on, I need you to help out, blah, blah, blah. I would drop everything and let's go do that. Right. There's very little like,
wait a second.
Boundaries. There's no like, well, wait a minute.
I need to plan this.
I have to plan out. I have to ask this person. I have to make sure that that's going on. And then I got to be up for work in the morning tomorrow morning. So I really need, none of that, all of that goes out the window. It's all like an adventure for me. Does that make sense?
So I love that you said that because that is where everything happens in your prefrontal cortex. So for Chauntel, that's where her logic and her long-term planning all like start. Okay. And that gets hijacked. For you and me, there's nothing to hijack because we're not planning the next day.
Yeah.
We're living in the moment, whereas Chauntel has her whole day planned out and probably the week after. And now you're telling her to do something different. And she's like, no. And you and I are like, whatever. Where Chauntel is like, this is awful. What are you doing? Yes, Chauntel?
Yeah. I mean, it really, yeah. I was going to say it depends, but like.
That's the t-shirt.
I mean, really, yeah. That's a t-shirt.
No, I don't like things being sprung
right
on me.
Right. I love when you spring something on me. When it's like, hey, Friday night, 8:00, my buddy calls me and he's like, hey, there's a fight on tonight. Do you want to come over, have a few beers? Well, yeah, let's do it.
I'm in pajamas.
No problem.
Yes.
I'm in pajamas crocheting. You're not interrupting that.
One of my favorite.
That's true. You're not.
One of my
does some
favorite.
really good stuff. We're going to have to put your website up too. What's your website?
I don't have a website. You can find me on Facebook.
Chantel.
Old Soul Arts.
Yeah, find her on Facebook. She's fantastic.
If only she knew anybody who could do
Websites
stuff.
for her.
I'm just saying.
Weird.
We'll
Anyways,
talk off
Tom.
Yeah, so like one of my favorite bro ventures, if you will.
Pro Venture.
You know what those are, right? Where you're like, it's just dudes, bro adventures, bro ventures. I just made that up.
Okay, maybe that's the shirt.
That's the shirt.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out by the end of the episode.
One of your bro ventures, one of your favorite bro ventures.
My buddy Josh came to visit one weekend, and we went out to New York City for the day, and we got back a lot later than we wanted to. We're supposed to go to Buffalo the following day for a Buffalo Bills game. And we get home at midnight, and we're trying to do them exactly. She's already cringing. She's like, midnight. I'm in
Chauntel's cringing. Krista Jones is like, yeah. You're going to get up 5 hours later. What's the big deal?
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yep.
Well, we didn't get up 5 hours later. That was the plan. Was, hey, listen, we're going to pack up our stuff. We got to hit the road because Buffalo's a 6-hour drive. Blah blah blah. By the time we get there, Josh was like, "Why don't we just leave now?" I was like, you mean right now? Like midnight? Like we're supposed to be in bed, man. Like he's like, no, we'll just leave now. We'll sleep. We'll take
It's an
shifts
adventure.
driving.
Yes.
We drove through the night
Yeah.
to Buffalo, and we got to Buffalo at 7 a.m. and watched a football game that afternoon.
You made memories. Those are, and Chantel's like this. Nope.
And
That
I'm
sounds
so-
like
and I'm-
awful.
It was awesome. For me, it was so cool. It was just when stuff is off kilter.
yeah.
It's,
Not planned, just spontaneous.
it makes it all the more fun for me, I guess, if that makes sense.
So this is an interesting quote that I wrote down purposely because I thought this is something that, Tom, you touched on. It's really interesting.
Okay.
Calm feels unsafe when chaos is your baseline.
Yeah.
So we kind of got into that off air as well, right? We were saying for Tom and I, if we don't have anything to do on a Wednesday night, well, we're making something up. Calm is unsafe. It's unsettled. I'm depressed in calm. Like it is weird.
There's no
But
adventure in it.
It's because chaos is our baseline.
Yeah.
That's not good, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. And, speaking of chaos, I mean, my life is that because
As most lives are.
we have 3 boys who are in athletics. And if you know anything about how travel sports works, like at any moment, the coach could text you and go, hey, we got a 3-game series this weekend. We're going to play. It's going to be, at 8:00 in the morning. And then we're going to play another game at midnight and then another one at 3 a.m. So you guys cool with that? Just check in. Thumbs up if you're good. We're always thumbs up.
So I want to
Everything
talk
is
about
always
that.
like thumbs up. So,
Signs that you might be the one creating the problem.
oh boy.
Hi, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm the problem. It's me.
That's what they're basically saying. Research is showing the chaos in our lives is because we create it. We overbook, sometimes subconsciously, but sometimes knowing exactly what we're doing. We overpromise. We overfunction. ADHDers especially start projects late. Then we get that last minute adrenaline.
No. Who does that? What?
You're uncomfortable in quiet, unscheduled time, makes you anxious, and you interpret calm as boredom or laziness.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't say laziness, but I feel like there's something missing. Like tonight, for example, I looked on the schedule and I had to do like a triple take. I had to call my wife and be like, there's nothing going on. I feel like this is a common phrase in our household. I feel like we're missing something. I feel like I'm forgetting something because there's always something going on. But tonight, there's no practices. There's no games scheduled. There's no workouts. There's no work nights. I don't have any meetings tonight. She doesn't have anything planned. It's just a free night. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do then? Can we go hit baseballs? Are we going to go out with friends? Are we going to have somebody over? And
You need to
what are
plan.
we doing?
You're crocheting with Chauntel on the couch.
Yep.
There you go. Like I would have to go and do something.
I don't know if you could handle sitting on the couch crocheting.
No, I don't think you want that. I
No,
mean,
well, if we're watching baseball, I could.
right. And see, I then look at it as a laziness if there's nothing going on. So if there's nothing going on, there's plenty of stuff in my life that I neglect. So I cannot sit and crochet. I got to clean the fridge. I got to, I look at it like I'm lazy then. If I really have a night off, I should be getting my house in order, my life in order, my kids in order, whatever it is. So I always have to be a busy beaver because we live with chaos as our baseline, whereas Chantel lives a more normal life than we do, apparently.
I wouldn't say normal. Yeah. Normal makes us feel like we're wretched, evil people.
Well,
but
I don't think we're wretched and evil, but I think we're always on go. There's really no stop button. And I think in a lot of the episodes we learn like you have to protect your peace. You have to have boundaries. And this whole chaos thing is you have to stop overbooking. And, but part of me is like, no, I mean, I really like it and I thrive in it.
Well, because
until I mess up in it.
Well, or until you involve other people, until you suck other people into it. That's where it becomes a problem. Right. So like for me, I love when it's my core five, right? Me, my wife, and my 3 kids. And we're on the road someplace and we got to grab lunch on the way because we go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And then after that, we got pizza at home and we're going to, and then it's like this kind of organized chaos. We have a plan. It's just chaotic. There's just a lot of stuff going on. It's just very busy.
Mm-hmm.
We love that. But when it's like, hey, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, you guys are going to have to meet us at the game at 6:00 instead of at 4:00 because the game got pushed back because this happened and that happened and all this other chaotic stuff happened. And now last minute, I have to change plans with you. So now it's affecting someone else because my parents are not like that either. My parents don't like that chaotic stuff either. They're
Mine
like,
either.
I'm like, Dad, what are you doing this Saturday? I gotta mow the lawn. And what else? Why, then it's pretty much it, but that for him, that's the task for the day. And then like going out at 6:00 or meeting us at 8:00 for dinner or going out at 2:00. It's not going to happen because he's got a plan for this is what I'm doing today. And that's it.
My parents are like that. Yeah.
And then when I'm done, I'm resting. We're having dinner. I'm going to sleep. It's done. Me, I'm like, I don't want to sleep. I want to get stuff doing. I want to do stuff all the time.
Right. And, I notice for me, I self-judge then.
Yeah.
Especially with friends, especially with people, whatever. If, people don't have jobs, I have a job, but yet they're still, even my parents don't really come up here a lot. And they're like, well, we have a doctor appointment next week. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's 8 days away.
Yeah, and I don't understand that as somebody that thrives so much in chaos. I don't think I have a lot of grace for people that will say things like, today, I have to drive to the mall and return a few things. And I'm overwhelmed because I got to get back for the dog. And I want to bite their head off. I'm like, get back I have to do 78 things in the hour that you're just going to go to the mall to drop off shoes that you had time to buy and money to purchase them with. So sometimes I feel I don't have a lot of grace because I pack my schedule and live in that chaotic moment too, which I know isn't great.
So we have a thing, we sponsor
Chauntel's just looking at us like, what is this?
She's like, she has no idea what this is, what this life is like.
No.
So at the place I work, we participate in an event every second Friday of a month. And we go there with a table and we have, we promote ourselves there. Right. And I know it happens every second Friday of every month during the summer. And inevitably, I'm the one that ends up having to do it, to work it, because there's nobody else. I don't get anybody else in time enough to have them plan out. I just assume everybody's like, hey, on Wednesday night, I can go and on Wednesday afternoon go, hey, can you do this thing with me on Friday night? What time is it from? Well, you got to be there like 4:30 to set up, and then we finish at like 9:30, and then you got to bring the back to the and they're like, I got stuff to do. I'm like, what do you have to do? Like, just come on. We're just hanging out,
Yeah.
man. We're not doing this. Not work. We're just hanging out and talking to people about our stuff. And they're like, yeah, no, I can't just.
That's only 2 days away. You didn't give me enough warning.
I can't do it. I'm like, I'm dropping everything.
Yeah.
To like,
which also is a whole different podcast as well that we should talk about. But sometimes, when you talk about chaos, sometimes you are not the problem and there are chaos carriers, right? There are people that actually create the drama to feel important. Like, I feel that we're busy enough. I don't need to create anything. We're all busy enough, but there are people out there that treat every inconvenience as an emergency. And I have to be careful because I can get in that mind frame myself.
Yeah.
So I really have to walk it through. I have to go, well, what is the worst thing if this doesn't happen and that doesn't happen? But there are people, we know them, that, they're in a room with us and their energy is just, everything is an emergency. So now everybody is affected with that energy. Everybody is set off. I'm in chaos because I don't know why, but I'm looking at you and you're a chicken with a head cut off. So now I'm in chaos because of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you said earlier, that we do, because of that whole chaos, we create that atmosphere in other people. So you got to be careful. I'm not really in the drama thing a lot, but I do know some drama chaos carriers.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst chaos carrying there is.
But I don't think that's because, and again, I'm not a clinical psychologist or anything like that by any means, but my instinct tells me that they create the chaos because they crave the drama.
The attention,
yes,
right? Some people, but it's a true thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got to separate yourself from that too. Which
is different from the chaos that you and I create in our lives.
Which is just
that's so that we can feel adventurous.
Yes. But, that is something too that I try to bear in mind, like when it comes to work and my staff.
Yeah.
Like, because I wait and do something last minute, I got to be careful not to make them panic because it's something last minute. So we try really hard here to kind of, have a schedule. It doesn't always work at all.
Yeah. You have to be flexible with a schedule.
You do. But you got to think, am I being fair to the people around me too?
Yeah.
Because what is that? Your poor planning should not be my emergency. Exactly. I remember our travel agent who used to work here at the radio station said that we used to have runners that we do this amazing run. You guys should come with us. It's a destination run. This year, we're going to Fort Lauderdale. Next year, maybe Raleigh, maybe Memphis. We don't know yet. Okay. We don't know. But you should do this run with us, guys. You should look up our website. It's called sparrowsnestcharity.org and just see what we do. But one of the things in this is that, she would have people like the night before flights say, I can't find the confirmation for my room. Like, she would have sent that, let's say, 3 times over a month. And she finally said to me, I'm not answering anybody 48 hours before, and you need to email them that.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not getting myself in this chaos. You should have been prepared. And if you're not, that's not my emergency. And I'm like, that's a good point.
Yeah, no, it is. You're 100%. And I think that's the other half of chaos is when you affect other people with it. It's one thing if you want to run your life chaotically like that, but when you've dragged someone else into that, that's when it becomes a problem. But I think there's also, like we were talking about the scheduling, there has to be flexibility, but at the same time, there has to be firmness on our end, on the chaotic side. We have to stick to a firm schedule as well. So there is a balance there, so that we don't overrun other people with chaos.
Right. You have to put some built-in time so that you can pivot, right? Because not everything goes the way you plan it to go.
Or you just deal with it. You just go, well, listen. My like you said, this emergency. I'm to the example that you're saying there, where I don't know where my itinerary is. Do 2 minutes of looking through your email. Oh,
Chauntel and I talk about it too, how some people don't even read and they just
5 minutes.
Immediately call somebody, creating a chaotic atmosphere. Not even doing their due diligence, right? Not even doing the research. It happens all the time.
Yeah, just take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll send out newsletters and you can tell who the skimmers are.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, I don't know where well, the second paragraph shows you where to sign up. Reread the email or read it for the first time.
For the first time, yeah. You saw the headline and were like, oh, great, good to know. Yeah. And then nothing else beyond that.
And matching somebody's energy, right? When you have somebody chaotic in the room with you, you don't have to match their energy. You just have to breathe in and out, and you just have to keep telling yourself, I need to walk this person off a ledge. A lot of times I try to do that before I go to them if I'm on a ledge.
Yeah.
You know, because, It's your environment. But you could really mess up your environment with your energy.
Yeah.
So replacing crisis with capacity. So how do we do this for the Toms and the Kristas of the world? And then how do the Chauntels of the world deal with people that thrive on chaos? You have to lower your cortisol, right? So you have to lower your adrenaline. You have to lower the dopamine hit that you're getting.
How do we do that though?
Well,
that's a bigger question. I think that's another episode.
I think that depends on the person.
Yeah.
My daughter is ADHD and she's definitely thrives in chaos. She's not neat. She's not organized. And at the heart of COVID, when we were all sequestered and we couldn't go anywhere, she was losing her mind. And we found that swinging and compression brought her down. So we hung a swing in her room.
Okay.
So when she would get in that chaotic, I'm losing my mind, we would be like, go swing.
Yeah.
And that movement brings her down. Some people it's squeezing things or, compression or taking a walk.
Yeah.
Listening to music.
It's using your mind, right? It's jigsaw puzzles, crossword puzzles. It is when you feel yourself spiral, do something that makes you concentrate.
If you like adventure, go on, one of those
walk.
Choose your own adventure videos. Bear Grylls does them.
No, it's not enough for Tom. He wants to be in the middle of it.
Yeah, I don't want to get eaten by bears.
No.
No, but it's you can make Bear Grylls get eaten by a bear.
That's true. Or what about coloring, adult coloring books? That's a big one. You could color in your adventure coloring book. But it's something that can calm your mind down, right?
Go to the batting cages.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
Hit some balls.
You could do that. You could do that.
Yeah.
You could go outside and ask one of your coworkers, just have a catch with me for 10 minutes.
Sure, that'll work. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, not in front of all the cars.
I was just saying,
maybe not in the middle.
Yeah. So
maybe across the
maybe
street.
in a parking lot. Yeah, across
the restaurant. I don't know.
Figure it out. Yeah.
But right, that first you have to remove yourself from the situation. That's true, Chantel. And that's interesting that you said, rapping and stuff like that, stimulation for her. I think that's awesome.
She has to sleep with a weighted blanket because she's like an alligator in the throes of a death roll. She cannot calm her body down to sleep. So she sleeps with a 10-pound weighted blanket.
So that's helpful. That lowers your energy. You have to learn to breathe. We talked about that, right? You got to do that.
Yep.
Yeah. That inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Just rebreathe. I don't really know. Rebreathe.
Breathe again.
Just
breathe.
Again.
Maybe that could be the
shirt.
shirt.
And then you breathe again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cold water. Cold water splashes, cold water touches.
Okay.
Cold water has a way to calm down your nervous system. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You may not be able to take a shower at work, but splash some cold water on your face.
Okay. All right.
And then I think I've talked about that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule before, but it's a good one. It's your senses. So you look and identify 5 things that you can see.
Okay.
Just look around the room, identify 5 things you can see, feel 4 things, smell 3 things, hear 2, and taste 1. It's a whole thing. Use all of your senses in some kind of way. It could be a 1-1-1 if that's better for you and you can't remember what I just said. It doesn't matter. But using all of your senses to calm yourself down lowers your cortisol levels, lowers your dopamine, your adrenaline. So you have to calm yourself down.
Oh, okay.
That's all. You're not doing it at all, though. Look at Tom.
No.
He's like, oh, yeah.
No,
that's
totally,
great for Krista. I'm going to call you later, Krista, to see if you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 anything.
No, I'm just waiting for the baseball coach to call me and be like, "Hey, we got a doubleheader schedule this weekend. You in?" I'm like,
hold on a second.
Hold on.
5.
I'm smelling 4 things right now.
My armpits.
Hold on. Hold on. I have to look at 5 things real quick. No,
you could be like, hold on, I'm going to my adult coloring book.
Well, because we're talking about two different kinds of chaos.
Well, right. So you're talking about the scheduling and all of that.
We're talking about the chaos where
yes.
Things
if you're already in the middle of the chaos, a chaotic situation, you can do that. If your friends are calling you to schedule all these baseball games, you should be cognizant about not overbooking.
Yeah.
And if for no other reason, if you're a people pleaser, which all of us here are, maybe you think about it like, could this potentially affect other people in my life? If then do my wife and I have to split up because the kids have to go in two different directions? And
Correct.
then do we miss little Tommy's game? And this is the state championship. And my wife wouldn't want to miss that. So maybe I shouldn't split us up today. Like maybe that's what you do in the scheduling type of situations. And then when you're in the middle of the chaotic, that's when you got to take some time to breathe. And we say it all the time for people like you and me. It really needs to be like a 5-minute thing a day. We can't even concentrate long enough to make this an hour-long activity.
We almost have to learn to, and this is another episode, but learning to say no. Like,
yeah, we've done that.
No, coach, we can't make it to practice on Sunday at 8 a.m.
Yeah, because
we have other stuff going on.
Yeah.
No, we can't make it for a double header or a triple header on, not that there's triple headers, but we can't make it to that.
Well, that's the boundaries, right? And the people pleasing stuff that we have to realize is actually causing the chaos. So you're right. We have to figure out what our yeses and our nos are. We say that every episode too, because your time is precious.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're filling it because there's a lot going on in our own personal lives that we don't like. We don't like being alone with ourselves. I mean, I hate to go that deep, but that's completely me.
Yep.
I don't, like to be alone and by myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something I got to figure out. Wow, we're going deep. That's another episode. But, sometimes there's things in your own personal life. And, I grew up in a house that was very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do a lot. So if I wasn't doing anything, I was in my room. My parents were doing their own thing. There wasn't a lot of interaction. My parents weren't, amazing communicators. I think maybe we all, and I don't know how true that is for you guys, come from that generation. I think we're getting better as communicators with our children. Every generation gets a little better. But, we weren't necessarily, going places on weekends and vacation. We didn't do a lot of that. And so my childhood for me was very sad. So I think I try to fill it because I feel like I was very depressed.
It's pretty insightful, yeah.
Yeah, and I just felt like I was missing a lot. And I have to learn to love myself enough to go, you really need a break and you deserve an hour. And, but that's a Krista thing. But I just wanted to say that because if anybody else is feeling that way, I get you. Hit me up. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll do together, but
it'll be chaotic.
It'll be chaotic, but maybe we could sit.
It'll be planned last minute too.
Planned last minute.
Yeah. What are you doing in half an hour? Can you be here in half an hour?
Gosh. Guys, it's so true, right? Thank you guys though for today. I really love being with the two of you because it makes me laugh. And I hope if you listen to us that you really get some stuff out of this. Let me just say it again for the people that are in the back. Crisis mode should not be a personality trait. It's really not who you are. It might be who you had to be in the moment, but unlike Tom and Krista, maybe just get out of that. Be a little bit more like a Chantel. Be somewhere in the middle, right? You're allowed to unplug from the noise, and really you have to unplug from the noise. And Tom, you were worried about setting boundaries and saying no and being a people pleaser, but sometimes you got to do that. Anyone that thinks you're boring, well, I don't know. Maybe they're just clapping in the middle of the chaos. And honestly, that's not a good thing. You, though, my beautiful, exhausted Sparrow, are not broken. Even if you thrive in chaos, figure out why you have to thrive in chaos and learn that you need to love yourself and you need to be able to sit with yourself and you need to be in peace. And that's really okay. You're just you, right? You're just overdue for some calm. And you need to get that in your life. So until the next time, check out our website, sparrowsnestcharity.org. Find out what we do, be a part of what we do, and get ready for the t-shirts. We really got to get those t-shirts going. Yeah. Be kind, guys, to yourself and each other.